Hello everyone, today you will hear an interesting story. Mindy and I have been married for a long time. We were blessed with two wonderful children. They were two lovely girls. Mary, who is 9 years old, and Dayla, who is 5 years old. Our life was quite interesting, but of course it didn't go without work and daily routines. I worked at a furniture factory where we crafted exceptional sofas and beds. We offered a wide range of styles and materials, from soft to firm. In this craft, I was a true connoisseur, and I loved my work. I always took pleasure in creating beautiful, high-quality pieces that would serve their owners for many years. My wife, Mindy, worked as a saleswoman at a local supermarket. Her job wasn't overly strenuous, but it involved dealing with customers. After all, everyone's mood could vary, and someone might offend or ruin it in some other way. Mindy had a knack for not letting such moments affect her. Nevertheless, this work also took a toll on her. Thankfully, my parents provided us with tremendous help. They frequently looked after the children while we were occupied with other matters. Such support was truly invaluable to us. In my younger days, I dreamt of owning a sports car. However, priorities changed when the children came into our lives. I managed to buy a nice house within the city limits at a good price. Of course, it wasn't a penthouse overlooking the ocean coast, but it was a pleasant place. In the distance, one could see the city park beautifully illuminated in the evenings. The ambience here was peaceful and serene. One advantage for me was having our own yard, beautiful and spacious, where we could spend quality time together. The children were delighted that each of them had their own personal room. Although the girls still enjoyed sleeping with us, they increasingly relished spending time in their own rooms. Mindy, too, was pleased with our home. She liked everything about it. It was our family paradise, where we all felt truly happy. But this happiness was not destined to last forever. For time, I began to notice Mindy's peculiar behavior. She was increasingly going out with her friends, leaving me alone with the children. "Mindy, darling, are you going out with your friends again today? I overheard something on the phone with Sheila," I asked, feeling a sense of unease. "Yes, I wanted to hang out with my friends today, so what?" Mindy replied casually. "Mindy, you're almost leaving the house every weekend. We hardly spend time together, and our children are not old enough to be left alone. But the kids are not alone. They are with you." "Yes, they are with me, but you should also participate in their lives, as you're their mother." "Stephen, don't lecture me about life. I spent a lot of time with them during their childhood, and now I just want to relax, you know. Besides, I'm not doing anything wrong. We'll just have some time together, chat, and have a few drinks about women's stuff." "Mindy, I understand, but I also need to relax. Moreover, when the children were little, my parents helped us a lot, and they still do. Can't you see? Yes, your parents helped us, and still do, but not as much as I would like." "What are you talking about? Don't play the victim here. We have a great family, and you're slowly breaking it apart." "I don't like it at all. I wanted to prepare a romantic dinner tonight. I wanted to spend some time alone with you, have some wine, and finally make love. I can't even remember the last time we had sex. Don't you miss it?" "Stephen, I'm sorry, of course. I want to as well. I just made plans with my friends already. Let's postpone this wonderful event for later." "Was Mindy, I don't want to tell you what to do, and I don't, but I hope this is just temporary." "Sure, my love. Let me unwind a bit, and we'll spend much more free time together." As time passed, things didn't get better, they got worse. The children began asking more and more where Mom was always going. I couldn't explain anything to them because I didn't understand what was happening myself. I hardly knew her friends she spent time with anymore. Every conversation about it turned into an argument. Mindy only pretended to want to change, but in reality, everything was getting worse. She spent less and less time with the children. These thoughts drove me crazy. "Mindy, please explain to me what's going on. What are you talking about?" "Stephen, wait. Don't pretend you don't understand what I'm talking about. I'm almost always alone with the children, and everyone's asking me what's happening with you. My friends are starting to forget what you look like. If your friends are forgetting what I look like, they can take my picture. Why should I care what your friends think? To me, it seems like mockery. Mindy, are you in your right mind? Don't you see how everything has changed? Should the kids always look at your picture? I understand you needed some time to unwind, but this has been going on for quite a while now, don't you think?" "Stephen, you are overreacting. We are independent adults. I love you and the kids very much, but let me make decisions about how I spend my free time. I see that you simply refuse to understand what I've been trying to tell you over and over again. We are a family, and we can't be so careless about it. I just can't understand. Have you decided to keep living like this? Then why are we important to you? Important to you, love. Don't twist everything. I love you and the kids immensely. If you doubt me, I'm telling you the truth. I haven't betrayed you or even thought about it. I would never do anything like that to you or the children. Do you really have such a bad opinion of me? Asked Mindy. I still love you very much, and I believe you. But your actions contradict your words. We haven't spent time together as a family for a long time. We need to do something about it. I didn't know what to do anymore. Farrah's thoughts filled my mind, preventing me from sleeping. I became more and more afraid of trusting Mindy. I didn't want to engage in spying games. I found them stupid and pointless. But I was very eager to find out what Mindy was doing when I wasn't around. I tried to push away all these silly thoughts for a long time and attempted to reach Mindy, hoping that she loved me as much as I loved her. I didn't want to destroy our family. Often text such community, I was so exhausted with it all. I left the kids to stay with their grandparents for the night and went to a bar with my friend Thomas to blow off some steam. Steven, you've been so quiet all evening. I don't recognize you. What's going on? There's trouble in my family. Thomas, really? But you have such a happy family. Is it 13 and chores getting to you? That's part of it. Mindy has been changing. I don't think she's cheating on me, but she's definitely drifting away from the family. Oh, that's unpleasant for sure. I suppose you've had plenty of conversations about it, but no improvement. You're right. I'm tired of trying to fix things. Mindy says she loves me and the kids deeply, but she keeps going out with her friends, forgetting about her family at home. Steven, how do you put up with all this? I honestly don't know. If I had such problems for a long time, I would probably drag my wife by the hair and give her such a scolding she'd never forget. From what I've seen, conversations rarely work. I don't want to upset you, my friend, but if you keep holding back, Mindy will walk all over you. These are worrisome signs, seriously. Yes, I understand. Thomas, but I don't know what else to do. Steven, have you even tried to find out where she goes, who she hangs out with, what she's up to? She says she's with her friends, and I don't know them all, but I haven't really followed her. Action, Stefan, you're making a mistake. Remember Kevin? Thomas asked me. Yeah, it's been a while since I saw him. What about him? He was also convinced his wife was completely faithful, but he had no hint of betrayal, unlike you. A teen on a bet with friends, he decided to test her and caught her with a lover on the first attempt to follow her. Are you serious? Candace cheated on him. His quiet, unassuming Candace? Yes, Steven, she cheated with their neighbor. The neighbor came to their house and had sex with her in various positions on their marital bed. You've really surprised me. I responded, shocked by the news. That's an example for you. I know Mindy, and she doesn't seem like a cheater. But personally, I would advise you to keep an eye on her. Anything can happen. I also knew Candace well, but as you see, things turned out differently. Thomas's words made me even more cautious. I hoped that spending time with Thomas would help me relax and see things from a different perspective, but it only made matters worse. I had even more thoughts, and I was starting to worry deeply. Soon, there was a big fair coming up, and we planned to go with the kids to see the show. But Mindy refused to go, citing feeling unwell. I didn't insist and went to the fair with the kids and my parents. Mindy stayed home. The fair was lively and noisy. The kids' eyes lit up with joy at the various attractions and sweets. Time should have passed beautifully. Meanwhile, I knew that Mindy would be home instead of going out with her friends to some unknown place. We wandered around the fair when I couldn't believe my eyes. In the distance, I saw Mindy with the security chief of the place where she worked. His name was Carl. I felt a rush of heat and then cold. I didn't understand what was going on. Honestly, what the hell was she doing here? I noticed that she was looking around and rushing him. I decided to act immediately. They clearly wanted to leave quickly. I left the kids with my parents and followed Mindy. She and Carl got into a car. My car was parked nearby, and I followed them. We arrived at a country house. It seemed to be a simple dicha. It was a small house surrounded by trees. The weather began to turn bad, and the sound of swaying trees filled the air. Mindy and Carl stopped near the house, but didn't go inside. They headed to a gazebo nearby. I parked a bit further and followed them on foot. There were many trees and bushes, providing ample hiding spots. The gazebo was enclosed, but there was a small open window. I could see and hear what they were doing. Mindy, why are you so worried? Carl, my husband is definitely somewhere at this fair, and we went there. Well, that's okay. I would think of something. Your husband is trusting. He would never suspect anything. I don't know. Carl, he's already looking at me askance. I'm worried that soon he will start to suspect something. Well, who cares? I like to live with him. Of course, he already got me, but I don't want to change anything now. Mindy, calm down. Let's get on with what we're here for, said this bastard and began to undress my wife. I was just furious. Treach took possession of me and began to lead me. I grabbed the first log that came across and burst into this gazebo. What bitches? But staying here without me? Oh, Mindy. I wondered if you're sick or hanging out with your girlfriends. Steven, frightened managed to say frightened Mindy. Get it, motherfucker. I shouted with all my might and threw the log at Carl, knocking him down. Carl grabbed his head and I ran up and started hitting him, sitting on top of him. I was beating the crap out of this bastard and felt how nice it was. He tried to cover himself with his hands, but I hit him in the face again and again. Steven, stop please. Mindy begged me. Shut your mouth, bitch. Is that how you love me and appreciate our relationship? You're a lying bitch that's worthless. But they told me that this could be, but I did not believe until I saw you. While I was yelling at Mindy, Carl was choking on blood and trying to crawl away. I stopped hitting him and looked at Mindy with hatred. Steven, please forgive me. Forgive. Fuck you. Yes, you poured so many lies into my ear without any embarrassment. Fuck this bastard while I was waiting for you at home with the children. And now you're asking for forgiveness. What a hypocritical creature you are. I'd kill you right here and you certainly deserve it. But I don't want to take the sin on my soul. Stay with that bastard and don't come home again or I'll beat the shit out of you. I will no longer tolerate your lies. I've had enough. I will send you divorce papers. I don't want to see your nasty lying face anymore, I said and left the gazebo. As I moved a little farther away from the gazebo, Carl crawled out of it, followed by Mindy running out. Carl grabbed an axe that was standing not far from a pile of chopped firewood. Hey, you bastard. You are dead. I won't let you get out of here. You will pay me for everything. Mindy is no longer yours. The bastard shouted and threw an axe in my direction. But then something happened. This axe stuck near me in an old tree. Apparently this tree should have been cut down a long time ago, but this bastard did not. He simply tied it to another tree that stood nearby so that it would not fall on the roof. But the axe cut this rope, and the tree shook from the wind. Mindy stood in a daze as the bloodied bastard ran towards me. Because of the noise and shock, these bastards did not notice how this big tree began to fall on them. To be honest, I myself could not immediately figure out what was happening. But the tree fell exactly on these individuals, making a mess out of them. It was a real chaos. I stood and often breathed with a frightened look, looking at their bloodied remains. I called the police and an ambulance, but these individuals can no longer be saved. Fortunately, the police did not have a complaint against me. The case was recognized as an accident. I did not tell the children all the details, but they managed to survive it. And I didn't have any regrets. These individuals got what they deserved. This person wanted to harm me after I left them alone. But karma quickly caught up with this person, also punishing my unfaithful wife. After this incident, things got much better than before. My daughters and I lived in perfect harmony. There were no more experiences like with Mindy. Sometime later, I was fortunate enough to meet Barbara. This woman fell deeply in love with my family and me. She appreciated all family values and was grateful for our meeting. My girls loved Barbara too. As with her, they felt what home comfort is. My life moved on. Now I have no doubts about my future. Everything at my job just got better. Now I began to lead the process and earn much more, which allowed our family to enjoy all the benefits of a happy life.